This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Already on the dance floor, it is the Dancing Dynamo, the Baron of Boogie, Disco Ray Daddy, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Playout One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Dancing Dynamo, the Baron of Boogie, Disco Ray.
Oh, yeah, Daddy. Appreciate you, James.
Absolutely. We'd like to do it big here on Wrestling With.
Of course. Yeah. Well, like he said, I am Disco Ray. Catch me on social media, Disco Ray _ all the way on Instagram, and Disco Ray on Facebook. Got a couple big shows coming up. Rocket Pro Wrestling December 6th. No Mercy in December 7th. That's where you can catch Disco Ray, Daddy.
Perfect. Merchandise?
Any merchandise for right now sold in person, but Disco Ray's actually got big plans coming up as far as gonna get a website going. More to come on that. That'll be all on my social medias. Once that goes out, got a little Shopify connected to all that. It's gonna be great, Daddy.
Perfect. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, let's get into it. You wrestle for Wrestle League. Can you tell us about your relationship with the company?
Yeah, so as we know, or maybe we don't know, Wrestle League, it's a company and it is a school, so have been trained there pretty much my entire career. Since my first day training was, I don't remember the exact date, but it was January 2022, so have been wrestling and affiliated with Wrestle League for almost 4 years now when we hit January. So yeah, it's been a hell of a journey. But yeah, you can find me mainly at Wrestle League and then, wherever I've branched out since then.
Absolutely. And one of the places you branched out was getting to wrestle, as he calls himself, the big gay wrestler, Effie.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously a big name on the independents. What was it like wrestling Effie?
Wrestling with Effie, honestly, that was probably going into it and finding out about it only a few days before. Probably the most anxious I've been as far as wrestling matches go. Definitely the biggest wrestling match I've had in my career. And then the nerves started to disappear once I got to the building. Got to introduce myself to Effie before our match. And then once I was actually in the ring with him, hell of a competitor. And it was just great to just have that experience. And when it was all said and done, when the dust cleared, looking back on it, Disco Ray thinks it was a hell of a match he had. And just one of my most fulfilling experiences in wrestling since. And so I try to be humble about it, but it was so, not many people get to do it. And Disco Ray is so happy he got to do it on that stage at JCW and with him at the time being the GCW champion. It was crazy.
You mentioned, it was only a couple of days before. Do you think that those nerves would have been extended if it kind of was announced long before the actual match?
Honestly, Disco Ray probably just would have been just as anxious for a longer period of time. So probably better I found out, in this case, sooner, as far as sooner to the date than, a lot earlier because those nerves just have been running through my mind.
Who was telling you that you were wrestling Effie? Did it just kind of pop up, or was it something? Was it something that was planned, or was it something that just kind of popped up?
Discovery doesn't know if he could give away the name of the person who got him the opportunity, but someone Discovery considers a great mentor and a great friend was gracious enough to. They had a spot they needed to fill against Effie as they were coming to the Chicago area for JCW. He was so gracious to give my name for that match, and I will forever be indebted and grateful for that. So I would just say it pays to be loyal. It pays to be hardworking. It pays to put your nose to the grindstone. People do take notice. For depending on how you feel about it, it pays to know the right people in the right places sometimes. But when it all comes down to it, it's the talent and the hard work that gets you to those spaces.
Did you get to talk to Effie after the match?
You know what? Now looking back on it, I think we chatted very briefly. But yeah, no, very, very just so nice and breaking kayfabe a little bit. But just so nice and just a hell of a guy. And he's like, yeah, hell of a, very gracious, hell of a job. Thank you for everything. And then Disco Ray actually did get a chance to go back. Was backstage at another show, was not needed. Things got switched around as they do. But then, got to chat with him at another show. And, just shoot the shit with him. And just honored to be around him and just the people in that locker room and just getting to get the knowledge from them and use them as talking heads and ask questions. It's an unbelievable experience I still cherish.
Well, another big moment in your career. You got the Proven Championship. From Wrestle League.
I did.
Had a pretty good run with it as well. What did that kind of mean to you to capture that championship?
So that was actually, it meant a hell of a lot more than, most people probably know. So that was the first, and I said it in the promo I did for the show. That was the first title I saw when I came in the training, and then I think someone brought it in. First title I ever touched, first title I ever laid my hands on as far as an independent wrestling championship. First kind of title match. That's when I had reffed digressing a bit, but my first show was the Wrestle League Anniversary Show 2022. And it was a battle royal for that title. Was vacant at the time. And then I don't know if many people know this, I reffed for 2 years before I kind of wrestled. But that was like the first title match. It was a battle royal, but you can call it a title match. First title match I ever reffed. So just that title was the very first everything related to a title in my wrestling career. So being able to capture it at that moment. And I won't go too much into the history at the time, but it was actually vacant when I won it that time again. And it was actually vacant for 1 to 2 years. So being the first champion back for that title, just so humbled to be able to have that opportunity. And then so grateful that I was able to win that championship match. I actually still have the title. I'm looking at it right now. We ended up getting a new one for it. And then I was allowed to keep the old one. So I get to hold on to it. It's my very first title. I should say that. I guess that's important to mention too. My very first title ever, let alone the very first title I set my eyes on. You can watch it back in the match. I think it's on, I don't know if they captured that part, but I'm literally in tears as it's being handed to me by one of my good friends in the business, Christian. In that moment, it was, an encapsulation of just, like I said, all the hard work that I put in up until that point.
Kind of seems like it was a full circle moment, no?
Oh, very, very much so. Very much so. And you don't always get that in wrestling. So I was very appreciative that I could kind of have that little inner story, that personal story for myself, and have it play out the way it did.
Was, getting the 1, 2, 3, like you said, having the belt presented to you by your friend. Was that a moment that you took in the moment, or is that something that kind of set in afterwards? Like, wow, I did this.
Like I said, you could see it at the end of the match. Like me winning, realizing it happened, and then having the title given to me, and I kind of break down a little bit, just overcome with the emotion. And then in true Disco Ray fashion, once that part went away, then I had the most grandest of exits. Ran through the crowd, ran through the bleachers. Actually, small funny story. I thought we were going in intermission after that, so I thought I could take all the time in the world. So I really milked that victory and just running around everywhere. And they're like, "Oh wait, we've got the next match. We got one more match for intermission." I was like, "Oh, I hope I didn't cut into anybody's time. Just hot dogging around." But there wouldn't be Disco Ray without something like that.
And you mentioned that they actually let you keep the title. What does that kind of mean to you, to let them, for them to give you that title? And obviously, like you said, it is your first ever title.
Gotcha. So Disco Ray is going to dial back a bit. Let is a strong word. No one said anything about me keeping it.
Apologies.
No, you're good. I'm using let very loosely. No one's put it this way, no one stopped me from not having it at the moment, since there's a new title. And but let's say I was allowed to keep it. But it's in my possession, and going off that assumption, it means a lot to kind of just have it as a little relic. Not everybody gets to keep their first piece of hardware.
Right.
So very, very fortunate to have it right here and talk about it with you and tell that whole story, and to be looking at it, right now, and have it for as long as I did. Knock on wood, hopefully no one hears this and takes it away from me. Be like, we actually need that back. If they do, it's fine. But I've been able to keep it so far.
So what you're saying is possession is 9/10 of the law.
Exactly, you understand. You're vibing with Disco Ray.
Just kind of continuing down that path. You mentioned debuting at the anniversary show. This last anniversary show, you actually got to defend your proven championship in a 6-pack ladder match, no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
What did that match, what was that experience like?
Oh, that was my first ladder match. A lot of firsts. And not many people get all these firsts. Like, I've only really been, by that time, I was less than kind of 2 years in since I debuted as far as wrestling goes. And then I actually had shoulder surgery the year before, so I was out for 10 months. A lot happened in just like a year of active wrestling for me. But no, that ladder match was a hell of a time. As chaotic an experience as you can imagine a 6-way ladder match can be. If you go and watch it back, Disco Ray looked like his leg was injured. He was taken away, came back on his trusty scooter that has played a part in Disco Ray's career. Disco Ray was blamed, and let the record show on this podcast right now, I was not responsible for knocking over the cameramen and camera women there at that show. A lot of things got out of control. I was on a scooter. There was a ladder around my neck. People were falling all over the place. People jumping out the ring. It was really cool, actually. I know I'm joking quite a bit, but we got a This Is Awesome chant, and we got a Holy Shit chant. I think those might have been the only two of the night. So we put on a show, and I was told by several people it was a hell of an opener, hell of a way to start the show. And of course, just as important as the match was, that entrance was everything to me. And that entrance was easily like 5 minutes. Had my dear friend and partner Seneca Sunshine come out, do a dance routine before I came out, went through the crowd, had a conga line of like Big Bird and Army Men, scootered around, then finally did my dance routine. So just getting to that meant everything to me. I've been waiting so long to do an anniversary. That was actually my first anniversary show I got to wrestle on. First two I refed, and then last year I was injured. And so finally being able to be on the show, and then of course Grant. When it was all said and done, when the dust was cleared, Disco Ray retained that title, and in its place he left a big old disco ball, and that's how he left the arena.
And he kept his time walker as well.
Oh yeah, very much so. Very much.
You mentioned her. Can you tell us about your tag team partner in Ray of Sunshine, Seneca Sunshine?
Yes, she is honestly so talented, so phenomenal, and just like so proud to see how far she's come. And she's only almost 2 years in, and she's just been on a string of incredible matches. I think she's on her 9th or 10th match, and just like I had just started going back to practice after my shoulder surgery around the time she was kind of starting on her wrestling journey last year. So just like getting to know her and just seeing how far she's come in the ring is honestly incredible. And just from when I saw her, just like you could see just the talent oozing off her, and just the character and the charisma. And just seeing her put it all together. And then I was like, it's kind of low-hanging fruit. I was like, Disco Ray, Seneca Sunshine, Ray of Sunshine. And it's like, you can't not. It writes itself. And then we're both just so colorful characters that the audience seems to gravitate to. And yeah, just so fun to work with her. And we really only had a couple of matches, which is crazy because we've been, ingrained in a storyline. With Russell and Brittany, but we've gotten to film a bunch of, I think that's some of the greatest content on both of our Instagrams. The promos and just the videos we filmed. We did one based off of Team Rocket from Pokemon. We did Lilo and Stitch. We did the Fusion Ha from Dragon Ball Z. And then actually probably hear it here the first time, we actually got a couple of shows coming up at No Regrets Wrestling, Wisconsin. A little bit further away, but starting in like March, April, we'll actually be tagging there. So that'll be something upcoming. And then, whatever's in store for Wrestle League. But yeah, shout out Seneca Sunshine. Go support her on all her socials as well.
Oh, absolutely. And you already have your sights kind of set on, the next thing, which is the first ever intergender tag titles, no?
Yes, that would be that is the ultimate goal. If that could come, I was gonna say full circle. Maybe that's not the definition of full circle. But yes, that would be. I think that would be my next biggest accomplishment that I will want to accomplish in Wrestle League. Though now we're branching out to other companies, so it'd be great to, kind of be the belt collectors of all the tag titles coming up. But if we could be the first intergender tag team champions at Wrestle League, that would be phenomenal. Don't know when that will come, but we are both hardworking. We are willing to fight for that opportunity. And if we were given that opportunity, we will take it to its fullest degree. And you can best believe that the promo for that will be one of the most entertaining things in all of independent pro wrestling.
Hell yeah. No, tag team, use our tag team. So I do have to ask, is there a pet peeve about Miss Sunshine that you just don't understand?
No, honestly, she is wonderful. Can't think of any pet peeves at the moment. Now, of course, down the line, you've seen several tag teams in WWE, TNA, AEW. Maybe success gets to both of our heads, and maybe there's an issue down the line. But Disco Ray is hoping that we will be, a tag team as long as, we can be that tag team.
Absolutely. not exactly a tag team, but definitely a moment, I would say. Could you tell us about that time you had an interaction with the Godfather?
Oh yeah, Disco Ray. I knew that, hoping that would come up. Yeah, Frontline Pro. Disco Ray hosts what is it? What did I used to say? I'm forgetting my intro. Frontline Pro's first and only. Hold on, I got a call. First and only talk show. But it's all the way with Disco Ray. It was something I was, a little backstory on that. Given the opportunity to do when I was, sorry, I got another call. Hopefully this doesn't make air. Excuse me. But when my shoulder was injured, he didn't, shout out Ben McCoy, promoter at, owner of Frontline, didn't want to necessarily keep me off the show, saw my charisma, saw that I was pretty good in the mic, gave me that opportunity. Fast forward, and it was actually around this time last year, I think November or early December. Like I said, got an opportunity to have the biggest guest on All the Way with Disco Ray. No one other than WWE Hall of Famer, The Godfather. And Disco Ray can say for certain no one else has had a talk show on independent, professional wrestling show that has featured The Godfather. So I think I'm very safe in claiming I'm the only one to do that.
Right.
But I won't go too far into details. You can watch the video online, but just know that Disco Ray offered The Godfather in exchange for the interview a set of hose of his choosing. Now, Disco Ray might have been a little confused what The Godfather used to mean by hose, but Disco Ray took a stop at Home Depot, got a collection of hose, gardening hose, brought him out and gave him the selection. There was some normal hose. There was some hose with 2 holes in them. Some hose where if you didn't. I asked The Godfather if he wanted to share a couple of hose. I had a couple small ones. I actually had a black hoe. Me and Godfather actually shared a favorite hoe. There's a black hoe that I was actually allowed to keep, and that's probably the coolest thing. Godfather signed Disco Ray's black hoe, and it says, "Black hoes ain't easy," and that is, I guarantee no one else on earth has that. Signed by The Godfather. So that up there with. It goes back and forth between that and the match with Effie is the two greatest moments of my career. Godfather might have the edge on that, but it was so crazy because it all happened in such a small amount of time. It was, like I said, last year on this time, did All the Way with The Godfather. I think next month won the Proven title. Few months later, got the debut at JCW and fight Effie, and it just. The little span was a hell of a run, and so fortunate I was able to do all the things we've talked about so far.
I mean, that's incredible. Who says that they have a signed hose by The Godfather?
No one can say that. Well, at least the garden hose. I don't know what he was signing. I don't know what hose he was signing back in the day, but.
You mentioned, you've mentioned that your shoulder injury. Did you get injured wrestling?
Not that one. It's funny because when I started wrestling, that first few years, I was got the title of injury prone, and I was called Glass Jaw Jerry. That injury in particular, though, was not from wrestling. That was from falling off my electric scooter, so not as a cool story. But it's funny because I broke my hand the first day of training I ever went to. Fast forward 5 months later, got dropped on my head. This is all during practice. Something else happened. I slightly later on, it turned out to be a sprain in my back, but then it was a potential fracture or something. Just a lot of random things. But my biggest injury that kept me out and sidelined for so long, for 10 months, was actually, just a freak accident outside of wrestling, funny enough.
How does that have a play on your mentality to pro wrestling? Also considering, people are, dubbing you, injury prone.
I think the injury prone and things like that I took in jest. It was coming mostly from like my friends and colleagues at Wrestle League, so I took that. That was I can tell was more as a joke. But I think the timing of the injury, I've sat and reflected on it a bit. It was I'm not gonna lie, it was a hard time just in my career and then in my life, and I was going through a bunch of other things I won't dive in too deep, but that year, just so many just like life events happened to me, and that was kind of the last one of the year, and just everything that happened that year. I debuted, I think, June 2023, and for a while that was the only thing, kind of like keeping me happy and keeping my spirits up, and then I was fortunate to. Not to put myself over too much, but I think I got very popular very quickly. So by September, I was getting bookings like every month. So like in a few short months, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm traveling and I'm getting all these places. But I'd actually fell off my scooter on the Thursday, I think after Labor Day, and I had bookings all the way through October, and I'd wrestled all throughout those 2 months, and I was in pain, but I guess I didn't realize how bad it was, and then I was actually told, like, near the end of October, oh, it's actually, your shoulder's fully torn. You have to have surgery, and they told me I have to have surgery in 4 days, and so Halloween 2023 is when I had the surgery. So it's kind of like the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. I was, weekly, and, like, really getting into and understanding and riding around, and, getting to live my dream as a wrestler, and then all of a sudden, it gets pulled into question. But I never had a doubt I would come back, stronger than ever, and I think I am stronger than ever. And I think the cool part about me, so to speak, and this is something I try to push on the younger wrestlers and the trainees that come in, be very versatile. So I've had pretty much every job in wrestling. Like I said, I ref for 2 years. I was a ring announcer. I helped with music. I've been, a gear runner. I fortunate to have a talk show not everybody gets to do. So even when I couldn't use my arm, that's when, like I said, Ben McCoy was like, well, you can do this talk show and you can still be on the show every month. At Wrestle League for, I think, when we started doing those Lincoln Hall shows, I wasn't ready to go. But then I became kind of the ring announcer for those shows, and I was the person, people saw the whole show. So you take that, an injury like that, I saw it as an opportunity to get myself more over. So instead of just coming out and having a 10-minute match, and they see me once, now I'm opening the show, doing a little spiel as Disco Ray, talking in between the matches. I get to close the show, getting to really put my face on the brand. And by the time I came back and could wrestle, for Wrestle League and Frontline, they're like, oh shit, Disco Ray's back, you can wrestle. So yeah, just being versatile, being able to step in anywhere. I think I actually couldn't wrestle fully, but I was able to ref a few matches too, and just be able to help out. So yeah, I guess my advice and reflection on that injury is just be versatile, and always be open to doing anything in this business. And then when you come back, I think you can be more popular than ever.
It sounds like it was actually a very productive 10 months of injury.
Honestly, yeah, it was a lot of just reflecting. You learn so much about yourself when you can't move one of your limbs. And I live alone, but I'm fortunate to have such great friends in and out of wrestling. Come check on me when they did, but I still had to, cook for myself. I slept sitting up for like 4 months. You're not supposed to lay down. Couldn't wipe my own ass barely. So you learn about your own mental fortitude during an injury like that, and you kind of have to learn, where you can, make, see the positives out of it.
No, I absolutely get that. Maybe a negative, possibly a positive. You tell me. Can you tell us about that time Jr Linsey moved in with you?
Oh God, we don't. You're really bringing that up. That was worst few months of. He was trying on Disco Ray's clothes. He was trying to shower with the proven title to me. I called her Groovy Provy. We were having an intimate moment in the shower. Disco Ray tried to take a shit, just barged in. He never wore a shirt. You ever seen Jr Linsey without a shirt? I'll say it to his face, not a pretty sight. He refused to put one on. He was wearing Disco Ray's bonnet. He was trying to get into bed and sleep with Disco. You followed it all. Everyone saw it. It was the most nerve-wracking month of Disco Ray's life. He didn't even pay the half of the rent he said he was going to pay, which is the only reason Disco Ray took him in. And just what an abhorrent individual with no redeeming qualities, Jr Linsey. And Disco Ray knows he has the actual current active proven title, but you'll hear it right here, right now, that it is not over between us. And Disco Ray is coming back for his baby, and he's going to take it back in the near future. If you remember the last Ray of Sunshine match we had, me and Seneca Sunshine won that match. We each got individual title shots. We are both coming for those titles from whoever has it at the time, but Disco Ray is praying and hoping that the man he takes it from is Jr Linsey, and he won't stop until he gets his baby back and he gets his hands on Jr Linsey.
What do you want more? His side of the rent or the championship?
Oh, that's a good question. Disco Ray doesn't like money. I think at the moment, Disco Ray's been able to actually started a new job outside of wrestling. So he's got the rent covered for now. I think Disco Ray thinks when he gets that title back, that's what he wants more. Once Disco Ray runs him that title, Jr Linsey's also going to run him those pockets, Daddy. So Disco Ray's going to come to collect. He's going to get the title, and then right after he's going to get the rent, whether Jr Linsey wants to give it up or not.
Okay. Now, can you tell us about that time you saved America with Kurt Angle?
You wrote it down the resume. I love that. So actually, I think the Godfather show was December, the month before. I think November it was Freedom Cup, which is this Saturday, November 15th. At Frontline Pro, they do the Freedom Cup tournament every year. But yeah, we had Kurt Angle for the Freedom Cup. So many cool things happened, last year around this time. But yeah, Kurt Angle came out, start the show. He's the freaking legend. In my mind, that's the greatest wrestler of all time. That is Disco Ray's GOAT. Bunch of no good ne'er-do-wells came out. He was doing a national anthem with the flag. 4 guys came out. 4 frontline pros, top heroes came out. Disco Ray was one of them. We ran him off as Kurt Angle was holding up the American flag, got the fist bump with Kurt Angle. And on that day, America was saved by Kurt Angle with the aid of a bunch of frontline pro wrestlers, and one of them was Disco Ray. So can't say that no one can stake a claim to that like you can with the Godfather, but not too many just independent pro wrestlers can say they got out there with Kurt Angle and saved the day and saved America with them.
Hell yeah! I mean, you're getting these opportunities with the Godfather, Kurt Angle. What does it kind of mean to you to be trusted, to be put in there with absolute legends?
Just gonna say, you used the right word, trust, and for whatever reason, and weirdly enough, I think about this a lot, just with personal relationships and with bookers and with wrestlers, and I don't know, trust is a big thing for me, and it's always racks my brain in a good way why someone or so many people choose to trust me in just different situations. But all I can say is I'm grateful for it. And I think there's a saying, I think it applies to romantic relationships, but it can be put anywhere. It's love needs action, trust needs proof, and sorry needs change. And I think the main one here is trust needs proof. And I think I started to have a proven track record of, going out there, delivering in the ring, delivering on the mic, delivering with the fans, and getting, I never, Disco Ray never met a crowd that he didn't like and that didn't like it, or that didn't love him. So yeah, I think like with the Godfather, I had 5 or 6 all the way, maybe more than that. I think I was doing it for almost, I don't want to be wrong. I think almost a year. So I had a track record of a year of, all these shows are entertaining. Let's give the most entertaining person we can give. I had a track record of, being over with this crowd and this, having a connection with this crowd. Let's send him out there, to save, be out there with Kurt Angle and give him that opportunity. Similar with the Proven title. I was told everything I do with this character, everything I do with the crowd, that's why, you're getting the opportunity to have this title. So, yeah.
Talking about delivering, I think that's a great segue into, can you tell us about Ronald McDonald versus the Burger King?
Oh, that's the greatest trilogy. That's Disco Ray's good old cousin, Ronnie Big Mac, they call him in the street. But that's the best. God, you don't get too many. I don't think too many people get those. It's the type of thing you can only do in pro wrestling. Those kind of little side adventures, and that's the only place where Disco Ray deviates from Disco Ray. I have tried to. I think a lot of people have different gimmick changes when they start, or they go out there and they start as themselves, or they find the character later. Some people are given characters later on. I debuted with Disco Ray. Disco Ray, caught fire. Disco Ray is not going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm very committed to that character, to that brand. So getting to be able to have this little side quest, this Ronald McDonald, and I'm going to talk more about it. So hopefully we got time. But it goes a lot deeper. Actually, if I can tell a little bit of a backstory, I got that costume before I started wrestling. Me and my friends hosted a Halloween party every year, and we were fast food mascots. Was the theme of the party in 2021. And even before that, this might be a little relic of the internet. No one talks about it anymore. But I don't know if you remember, Mario Judo got really famous in the internet, had red hair. And that was the original reason I dyed my hair red. And then I was like, I also could be Ronald McDonald. And I was like, oh, what if we did fast food themed mascots for this party? And that's where Ronald McDonald took off. Fast forward, I'm wrestling. We're doing a Halloween show. I don't know if I pitched it or Bugs pitched it, who owns Wrestle League. But we ended up doing Ronald McDonald versus Burger King. And I was just so adamant about exactly what's going to happen in that match. I was like, I want Grimace to come out. I was like, Hamburg. I was like, I got to have Grimace. He didn't want Grimace out there. I was like, the Grimace shake is a big thing right now. I bought a Grimace costume. I was like, we're going to have Grimace out there. And I was like, Hamburglar's got to be involved. And I was like, we got to have all this food. And I think that match itself was a classic. Fast forward to the 2024, we did the Multiverse Combat Gauntlet. And we didn't have a match. We were actually, I guess we were 2 people in the Gauntlet match. So we had a match within it, but it was actually the larger match. It's supposed to be a Mortal Kombat thing. But I guess I don't know. It went from Mortal Kombat to Multiverse Combat, and then people could be whatever they wanted. And so he's like, can you be Ronald McDonald again? And I was like, fuck yeah, I can be Ronald McDonald again. As long as I can Burger King son of a bitch in there. And so we do Ronald McDonald Burger King. First year I won, and then Burger King won last year. So I was like, and I was pitching as soon as that match ended, I was like, we got to have a third one. I was like, we got to set up third next year. And then he's like, well, no one cares. Why are you so adamant about this? I was like, no, we need to have the third match. Fast forward to just a few months ago. And he's like, okay, Burger King, Ronald McDonald, Burger Wars 3, we're going to be in the main event. And I was like, fuck yeah, I don't even have to ask for it. And that's, go back and watch that match. That's probably the most beautifully told story. Because I have another match that I enjoy where the story is just so good. But the story in that match is so beautifully done. It's essentially a street fight without being promoted as a street fight. And then you get run-ins from everyone trying to stop Ronnie Big Mac. Jack in the Box comes out. Raising Cane comes out. Grimace turns. Thankfully, it wasn't actually Grimace. I'm still looking for him. It was a Hamburglar who was wearing Grimace's skin turned on me. And thankfully, Ronnie Big Mac's pal, Wendy, was there to save the day and give him an edge. But once again, when the dust is cleared and it's all said and done, Ronnie Big Mac stood on the Golden Arches and was the victor that night. And that's the last thing people saw that night.
One could say it was quite the trilogy, no?
Oh, very much. I think it's the greatest trilogy ever told in wrestling. Ever. I can't think of anything that tops that. Nothing ever. Not in WWE, not in AEW, TNA. No. It's Ronald McDonald versus Burger King.
That being said, where does Ronald McDonald go from here, now that he's conquered the Burger King?
I think Ronald McDonald, for now, rides off into the sunset. I think he needs a break. So look out for next year which one of Disco Ray's cousins are gonna pop up. I think Ronnie Big Mac is hanging up the red and yellow for a bit. But you never know. You never know.
Well, there was one more bit of information about that match leading up to it that you didn't add, and that was the music video, or the disc track to the Burger King.
They call him Ronnie Big Mac for a reason. With a name like that, you got to go hard. But yeah, I think that's the greatest music video ever made. It's no Burger Kings, dude. We don't want no kings. Burger King is a guy that's always second place to me, thinking because he wears a crown can't lose to a clown, trying to have it his way. But the greatest thing about that video, it was recorded in an actual studio, or actually Juice WRLD used to record his songs in. But it was recorded, mixed, the entire music video shot and edited all in one day. So we're working hard to get that out, and I think that's the greatest piece of art. One of the greatest pieces of artistry, put out there. I think if we could put it on, unfortunately, TikTok doesn't like copyright issues, and I guess because it's the tune of No Scrubs, they won't let it on there, even though it's parody and that's protected under copyright law.
Correct.
I think if it was under TikTok, I think if we could get it on the TikTok some way or somehow, I think that it would have already been viral. And I might be switching over to Ronnie Big Mac permanently instead of Disco Ray as a gimmick. All the bookings would have been coming for him instead.
So you're saying, the song and the music video was recorded in the same day?
Yes, all of it the same day.
That is incredible, and you even went the extra mile to go into a music studio to have it recorded.
Yes. Oh, very much so. You gotta. I as a person am nothing if not committed. I will always commit to the bit. I dyed I get asked if this is a wig. My hair is this color. Specifically, I do it every year to be Ronald McDonald, and it just so happens it works with Disco Ray. But the hair is, in addition from just being Ronald McDonald and committing to the bit. So I will always commit to what I'm going to do. If I have my mind on something, I'm going to do it, and it's going to... You can't half-ass it. The Chris Van Vliet interviews, my favorite one is R-Truth. And the biggest advice he gives is go all in. You can't go half in. You got to go all in. You got to go all in. Because if you don't believe what you're doing, no one else is going to believe what you're doing. And I believe in everything I'm doing.
Hell yeah. Now I think it's time for Disco Ray's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Oh God, a road story? Oh. No, you're making me rack my brain. I'm trying to think about it. think of an interesting one. Good thing this is we've got some time. It's not live. If you give me like 30 seconds to a minute to rack my brain, we do a lot of riding up to Wisconsin. It's probably where I go the most.
Would you like me to ask you another question while you think?
I think I got. I don't know if I have yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. One thing I found interesting was that you and a lot of the other wrestlers in Wrestle League have a spot in WWE 2K, no?
Yeah, well, as far I guess just to clarify, we're not actually we're created superstars. We didn't actually.
Right.
Maybe that's a given. Yeah, we are actual WWE superstars. But yeah, I think in 2K24.
What did that kind of mean to you? Because it is kind of it's very well done. I would say.
Yeah, very well done. I think someone actually someone from wrestling paid someone else to actually do it, so it is quality. It actually made me. It was so realistic. It made me realize how much sometimes I don't take care of my hair, because instead of being like a nicely formed afro, it's kind of the frizzy afro they have in the game. No, but it was actually just dope, and to see they did it with the full entrances. I think it just really captured Disco Ray in it, and a lot of the other superstars at wrestling. And I've been playing. I've had every, SmackDown versus Raw 2K game, every SmackDown game, since I was born. So just like that's my favorite game series of all time. I've easily put more hours into those games than anything. So to be able to have myself, I guess I create myself in the game myself too, but obviously any wrestler asks them, they do it. But just seeing it, and honestly, it might have been. I think it was more realistic than the one I even made. They went a little bit more through the creation suite than I did. No, but it's so cool just to be able to see yourself in those games, and maybe one day it'll be you don't have to. Maybe one day I don't have to create myself. Maybe one day I'll actually be in the game. One can dream. Code. I'm in the code. I'm in there. I'm in the back end. So yeah, I think I have the road story. I don't know if you want to prompt me again on it.
Yeah. Tell us your crazy, weird, and/or bizarre road story.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna remember details as it happened. But I think it was my third and fourth matches. So it was my all in one weekend. It was my first Wrestle League match. I think it was my third match ever. And then we were booked for Frontline. Our debuts in Frontline. It was me and the Bros the next day on Saturday. And that's when it was that venue was 6 hours away. So we thought we were smart on Friday night. Had the wrestling show, and we're gonna drive overnight and get there, early in the AM, because we thought that was smarter instead of just driving the next day. So we're already half, tired from doing that show. There's karaoke that night that I used to do after the wrestling shows. So we didn't leave till midnight. And then we get there at 6 a.m. And then we get to a hotel, and it's like closed. Ooh. And it's like, what? And it's like, we're trying to get in there. And it's like, what's happening? And then it's like the instructions. I don't know if there was a worker there, or is this like instructions on the window. It's like, go over to I'm trying to remember which one we did first. I think it's like go to another hotel, and then we went to that hotel, and then they were trying to. I think that would have been a nicer hotel. Come to find out later, but they were like, they're not open right now, or you can't get in right now. You can use this hotel, and then they were gonna refund us eventually, but Disco Ray don't get that much money in his bank account, so they were gonna refund it, but they were also gonna charge us to stay there. And I was like, well, don't do that, because none of us got that much money on us. So let's figure this out. And they're like, well, the only other way to do it, the guy who owned that hotel, I guess is under new management. He's sleeping at wherever he was. It wasn't like a house, but they're like, you can call him and go there. So then we rode over to couple miles like down the road in like bumblefuck Wisconsin. And it's like, I know this isn't true, but it was something reminiscent of a trailer park. It was like an office, like a couple of offices, just like in this like little gravelly area. And I guess the dude slept there too. And it was so weird. And then we like had to go and like knock on the door, and then he had to like give us the keys to like get into the hotel. So then we had to drive back. It was like 6, 7 a.m. at this point. And we just, the night before we wrestled, and then we drove here overnight. And then the show is like whatever time in the freaking evening. And then we finally like get in the room. We sleep for a bit. Did we even sleep for that long? No. But at some point we're investigating in the go into the bathroom. The towels are like covered in brown stains. You can make up what you want to think about what that is. There's definitely probably bed bugs or something in those sheets. But none of us slept like under the sheets. We just slept on top of the bed. In the windowsill, there's I shit you not, like hundreds of dead flies.
Ew.
Just like sitting in there, and it's like, where the hell are we? And then we go, and then we do the show, and then we're gonna stay overnight because they were doing like they used to do a different show like taped Sunday mornings. So we were getting our reps in that day. My third, fourth, and fifth matches were a triple shot, as we call it. At some point, I think we were. I know I'm telling the story in pieces. I think we're the Bros are trying to convince me. Not convince me. I was on board to not pay for the first night because we didn't sleep the first night, so we didn't think we have to pay. So the guy was trying to get my credit card down, and I wouldn't give it to him for a good little while. And he's like calling up to our room, and I was like asking him, "Can we just like pay for the second night we're gonna stay?" And so he just like kept calling the room and kept waking us up. And then I finally got down there, and I'm going back and forth with him, just like not arguing, just like asking questions like how we can arrange this. And he's like, "If you keep going, we're just gonna call the cops and you kick us out." And I was like, "Okay, easy. I don't know how we got there. I don't know. We don't got to take it that far. We're just like, we'll just sign whatever you want us to do." What was the other weird thing about that place? Oh, and then there was this lady just like vacuuming in the hallway. And then we asked her, it's like, "Oh, can we get some new towels?" And she's like, "Oh, no." She's like, we were like, "Oh, well, do you work here?" She's like, "No, I don't work here." And so she's just vacuuming the halls and then walking. He's like, "Well, who are you?" And I was like, He's like, "What's going on?" So we left a little gift in that, the Hotel from Hell is what we call it. Eventually we checked out and went about our lives. So the night before was actually our Pride show at Wrestle League. And that match actually featured several dildos that were used throughout the match. So Chad Bro in that hotel stuck on the window as a gift for all of them. There's this big clear plastic dildo with a suction cup, and he just smacked it on the window for them to find later on as our gift to them for such a shitty experience. So hopefully, I would love to know if they ever found it, because it doesn't look like they checked their hotels at all. So I would love it if a guest just found that one day, open up the window to get some air and sunshine, and just see a big floppy dick looking at him in the face. Oh, and there's a little kind of Easter egg to that as well. There was another. This is so funny. There's another pink suction cup dildo that Chad put on my car, and we had to drive 6 hours, so we wanted to see if it would stay the whole time. So we drove 6 hours to Wisconsin, Chicago, and this thing's just flapping in the wind, and it stayed on the entire time. So it was ever making this freaking suction cup dildos. Like, I don't know. Any women out there, you want to like trust the brand? We could figure out what brand that was, but like that's the ones you want apparently. And then we eventually got home and threw that one away. But a lot of wrestling and apparently rubber dicks that weekend.
So great suction.
Yeah. Someone's getting use out of it, hopefully. Not for me, but someone's doing something with it.
All right. Well, definitely a very bizarre adventure, to say the least.
Oh, something like that.
I think it's time for the colossal question.
Yes.
Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Well, the first 3 songs, well, one has got to be DISCO by Ottawa, which is what Discovery comes out to. People actually think that's a custom song. It's not, so I would love to just get that. That's definitely the intro. I think the second one, this is a recent discovery by my tag team partner, Seneca Sunshine. There's a song called Ray of Sunshine by Wham. And then the past 2 times we've come out separately and did a little routine when we got in the ring together. But if we're going to come out to a song together, because we both like to do a little routine when we come out, it would be Ray of Sunshine by Wham. And the third song, I'm trying to think outside the box, but I'd love playing to the theme of the movie would be. Keep in mind, I'm imagining a Disco Ray movie, not necessarily a Brilliant Thunder Zephyr movie. I think the third song, I'll do an ode to what I used to actually first come out to was Dancing Queen by ABBA. I think would be the third song in that list, and I just as electrifying as the entrances I did the DISCO. I think very few people got the see it, the dance in a routine I did for Dancing Queen. I think was got the crowd just as much in a frenzy as DISCO does.
Hell yeah. I mean, it don't get more iconic than ABBA.
Oh yeah, not at all, dude. Give me. Yeah.
And I mean, if you ever do wrestle in Sweden, I mean, I feel like it has to come back now.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, I would love to wrestle in Sweden. I'd love to get more international as the years go by.
Check out Freedom Pro Wrestling and Stockholm Pro Wrestling in Sweden.
Stockholm Pro Wrestling is an actual company?
Stockholm Pro Wrestling is a real company.
I'll look at it.
And and Freedom Pro Wrestling as well.
Freedom Pro Wrestling, yeah. Mm-hmm. I believe you. I just don't know anything about Sweden. It's good to know.
Oh yeah, I interviewed 2 of like the 4 promoters of Freedom. So.
Oh yeah, if you want to get there, we can talk after this. And you can give me that connection. It would be great.
I could get you in contact with them. I could give you their handles.
I am passport ready. I actually have a trip to India coming up soon. Not wrestling related, but it'd be cool if I got to wrestle there. But turn these trips into something.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of wrestling in India. There's maybe like 2 promotions that I know of.
Yeah, I think Rinka King is one. No, that's India, if I remember correctly, or maybe way off.
I'm not entirely sure. So I'm not quite sure if like they're booking people. They're trying
probably not. Yeah.
But they're I know people that worked in India that actually had to leave India to actually wrestle because there just wasn't that much wrestling in India.
That makes sense, yeah.
But back to the question. Your 3 picks, your 3 songs, a solid 3 picks to say the least. Everybody knows that you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays you? And you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Oh God, I love Stan Lee-esque cameo. Who would play me? I used to get comparisons back in the day to Donald Glover, and I could see him being a solid choice. I could see it, but I'm trying to think. That might be the best one. I'm trying to think of anyone else out there. I feel like I have someone in mind. There was an actor I used to get compared to, but I can't. There's someone else people used to say I look like, but I can't remember. But I think Donald Glover would be a solid choice as far as someone being able to like capture it and capture the character and actually share similarities with facially and somewhat physically. So yeah, let's throw Childish Gambino, Donald Glover on there. I think we'll play Disco Ray.
Perfect. Now that we have you casted, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people with meaning to you and your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Gotcha. If we're focusing on just Disco Ray and Disco Ray's story, looking outside of my personal life, I think you gotta have Shogun Chris Logan, who, you know, one of my main trainers. I'm bad with actors. There's definitely I think it would have been, if there was someone who was Shogun, it would have been what was that dude's name that passed away? He was he's in Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. It was this big buff black dude. He was in a bunch of he never had like a lead role. Am I ringing a bell at all?
I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, Michael! I just looked at Michael Clark Duncan. You know Michael Clark Duncan?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Michael Clark Duncan, I think would easily play Shogun. See, I think I have the meaningful people, but I'm so bad with actors and actresses that I don't want to do them dirty. I think Seneca Sunshine would definitely be. She's a close friend of mine as much as she is a tag team partner. I'm trying to think of someone to do her justice as an actress. This one I know actors, but I just can't think of one that would like fill the role. I think Keke Palmer would actually play Seneca very well. Now that I think about it, I'll say Keke Palmer for Seneca. I think that would go well.
Okay.
And I think the last one would be my mortal enemy, Jr Linsey. And I think there's an easy answer for that one. It would be Whoopi Goldberg. It has to be Whoopi Goldberg. It can't be anyone else.
Perfect. This is sounding like a great movie. A blockbuster, to say the least. And you can pre-order the tickets now.
Oh, yeah. They're on sale.
Yes. On to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your
Oh, great. I love pineapple on pizza. That's my favorite type of pizza is Hawaiian pizza.
Okay.
Ham, pineapple, barbecue salt. It's wonderful.
So really pro pineapple on pizza.
Oh, very much. That's my favorite.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh, spirit Pokemon? Oh, there's a lot of... I like all the kind of funny, weird ones. Part of me wants to say Slowpoke. Part of me wants to say Mr. Mime. I think Ditto, if I had to like be true to myself, because I think I try to build myself, not copying other people, but kind of learning the best. This is applying it to myself, kind of like learning and pulling away the best qualities of the people who are around me, because I think everyone around me makes me a better person, makes me a better wrestler, makes me a better performer, better, like I said, better person in my personal life. So kind of to make a somewhat, not silly question, but like give a very spiritual answer to it. I would say Ditto for those reasons.
I think that was the most profound answer we've ever had
on the
show.
I think that's the word I was looking for, profound, yeah.
We love the late, great Tracy Smothers on the show.
Oh, did you actually?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
THUG. Related to Tracy Smothers?
Yes, correct.
I can't say that I do. I don't know if I'm being questioned on my pro wrestling knowledge at the moment, or if this is a trick question.
Would you like me to spell it out for you?
Yes.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, 'cause a dog can't spell.
I love it.
We love the late great Tracy Smothers, trying to keep the memory alive on the show.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So if you don't, it's not necessarily a trivia of wrestling, but, if somebody that didn't know who Tracy was, hears this question and maybe Googles him after, the interview, I would consider that a win.
Oh, very much so. No, he was a legend.
Did you ever have an interaction with Tracy?
No, I haven't. I think Shogun, one of my trainers, did he have a match? I think I don't want to misquote him or give the wrong information. I think he had a match with Tracy Smothers, I want to say. And he told that story. I think. I don't want to misquote him, but I'm pretty sure he said it was Tracy Smothers.
Gotcha. Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
I think I would wrestle a Rock. I think that'd be fun. I think I can make it interesting. I think I'm priding myself recently, and then of course someone's got to test me one day in some type of match. Beginning to pride myself on being able to be a person who can work or have a match with anybody. So I'd love to branch that out and be a person who can have a match with anything. So I would definitely take up a match with The Rock.
I'm thinking maybe make it a battle of the bands, disco versus rock.
Sure, is that the whole setup? Is that what we were kidding?
I just came up with that on the fly.
Oh yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, all that. Yeah, honestly, it bills itself.
Oh yeah.
Just promote it. Don't even say what it is. Just be like Disco versus Rock, and you have me and a mystery opponent on the flyer. Where's my opponent? Somebody just throws a rock in the ring. They hit me in the head. So hot start to the match. We go from there.
Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
What, 2 weeks?
Yes, he wrestled a Rock for 2 weeks.
Oh. Constantly?
Oh no, he had matches in between wrestling the Rock.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
So he would have a match with a human person, and then the Rock would jump in and attack him, get a pinfall, get out, things like that.
Yeah, as it goes, as that happens with, where wrestling Rocks, they tend to hold grudges.
Yeah. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, 5 years. Oh, you're gonna do with the interview questions. I always shit the bed on those when someone asks me in like an actual interview. 5 years. I always get asked it's similar to getting asked my goals in wrestling, and I don't want to rest on my laurels. Like I said, I don't want to put myself over too much, but like all the stuff you've said like we've talked about with the Godfather and Effie, and then I was able to do JCW, which is that's considered TV. So I've done TV in wrestling, which is what I was one of my big goals, and I was able to do all that kind of like within 2 years. And that's not to say like there's nothing left to do. It's just I thought those were going to be my 5-year answers. It's hard. I just think I don't give a cop-out answer. I really love telling stories in this business. For me, it's not so much about the titles. So I'm not usually the guy. It's like, I want to win this many titles, this many world championships. Or I want to be able to, tell great stories. I think what's left on my bucket list, so to speak, I know everyone has like the wrestlers they want to wrestle. I think my only one is Scotty 2 Hotty. If I could wrestle Scotty 2 Hotty.
Ooh, okay.
I think that wrestle or tag, I'd be happy with either. Because if we tag, I think we could hit the word together, which would be dope. If I could get that in 5 years while he's still wrestling, because he's still taking booking, that would be incredible. But if I could get on like a major, I think next would be kind of in 5 years, hopefully, an appearance on a major wrestling promotion, either WWE or AEW or TNA. And I'll leave it somewhat, I don't know if humble is the right word, but just an appearance in the 5 years. I think that maybe I can get a little further. Maybe say contract. But right now, I'll settle, so to speak, for appearance, just to keep myself grounded.
Okay. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off you as a pro wrestler?
Disco Ray versus Aaron Arsenault, Frontline Pro. I think if you just search that on YouTube, it'll give you that. It's a night for Tyler. You get a rare dread-headed Disco Ray. That's when I had my hair in locks for a brief period. But I think that's my best wrestled match if we're talking just wrestling. And that's the one I alluded to earlier. I think just tells a great story, like a wrestling story. We had both come back from. That's my first match back from shoulder injury. And Aaron Arsenault also broke his shoulder months before, and I don't know if that was his first match back, but he was also just returning from an injury, so we worked that very much into the match. First singles match, I think it was back for me. I think I had one more match before that. That was a Fatal 4-Way. But yeah, I would seek out that match if I just had to pick one.
Okay, and that's on YouTube, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. And I will grab that match from YouTube, and I will put a link to it in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and CastBox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Oh yeah, dude, appreciate it.
And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. Dun, dun, dun. This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Oh God, I guess I'm ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Kurt Angle.
Worst wrestler.
Oh, worst wrestler. That's a mean question. Yeah, I know this is supposed to. God, it's a speed round. No, oh God, I don't. I guess just physically wrestling, probably Kali, but I think he's one of the most entertaining wrestlers ever.
Okay, well I will accept that answer. Your main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Oh, I want to be Shawn Michaels if I had to pick.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, Dusty Rhodes, and that might happen in the future. I want that to be one of my entrances one time.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is... It's supposed to be a speed round, I know. I'm bad at thinking quick. Kayfabe is underappreciated in modern times. We would have also accepted taste great on toast. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
It's a vegetable, no?
It is indeed a fruit.
Oh, okay. Well, the more you know.
It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Oh, fair enough.
New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I was actually a big Rikishi fan, so if you got all ass out, I think that's fine. I think as long as it covers the front part, you can have as much ass out as you want.
Okay, so all
1-0, I guess. I don't know.
I was gonna say let's from a scale to 1 to Sexy Eddie, it's Sexy Eddie, which is no coverage whatsoever.
Pretty much, yeah.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I have not. But this is this a story or something that came out you're alluding to?
No, I'm asking you.
It weirdly sounds familiar. No.
Well, I've asked for over 450 people this question, so it may have gotten through the cracks at some point.
Oh, but I've not had a conversation in a supermarket about Darby Allin. That weird deja vu. I don't know why.
Well, that is the correct answer.
That was the correct answer.
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. And once again, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, once again, right now, Facebook, Disco Ray, Instagram, Disco Ray _ all the way. And I don't actually think I mentioned TikTok you can find me on, which I'm still building up. And I believe that is also Disco Ray _ all the way. Oh, and I have a YouTube channel. Why am I forgetting? I just made it. That's Disco Ray.
Perfect. And merchandise is in person until you get that good website up.
Yep. Gonna go hard on just building my brand and want to get really good at website building. And maybe that's something as a service Disco Ray offers to any fellow wrestlers out there sooner than later.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and CastBox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow and buy a damn shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and CastBox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say Wrestling Wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Yep.
For our special guest, Disco Ray, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment, Daddy!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.